If you have an interest in horses and love learning more about horses, the horse industry, teaching, or even managing your own horse business, then you're in the right place. We would love you to join us on our mission, which is to improve the lives of horses around the world through the education of riders, handlers, and trainers. So get comfortable, listen in, and enjoy.
This is another of our popular Listener's Choice interviews, which we're playing over the weekend. We've chosen the most popular interviews for you to select the Listener's Choice winner. If you're not sure how the Listener's Choice competition works, have a look at horsechats.com/choice for the rules and the leaderboard. Horse welfare and safety are of utmost importance where humans have any interaction with horses. Within the courses at International Horse College, we only utilise methods that promote safe and humane ways of interaction between horses and humans. We only support safe methods of educating riders, handlers and trainers about horse welfare. internationalhorsecollege.com, registered training organisation 31352. Today I'd like to introduce you to Pip Tonkin. Pip is a specialised vaulting coach, but she's also got a riding school where she mainly teaches children, but also is open to all ages and teaches riders from complete beginners up to FEI. And she does a bit of work with Pony Club students as well. How are you today, Pip?
Oh, I'm fine, thank you.
Good. Pip, we normally start off with your favourite quote, and it might be one that you use often in teaching. What do you think your favourite quote is?
Look, I was thinking long and hard about this. I love Franz Maringa's Horses Are Made to Be Horses.
Yep.
Excellent. But I also really like a George Morrison one, and I can't actually quite remember it, so I'll be paraphrasing something about when you're on a horse, you're either teaching it or you're unteaching it. I don't think that was quite what he said.
Yep.
But that was the idea of, yes, always when you're on the horse, you're actually teaching it something, either right or wrong, preferably correctly.
Yep. How many horses have you got there at the moment?
I have 18 school horses.
Yep.
And then I've got about 10 other horses that belong to my pupils that I just hear.
Okay. How did you start with horses?
I can't even remember starting with horses because I was almost born on one. My parents both rode, and my godmother was Kay Irving, who started the Pony Club movement in Victoria. So we lived for quite a period of time actually on her place while my parents were sort of getting money to buy their own property.
Okay. So was it a natural thing then that you had a career with horses? Did you just progress on and have that career? Did you do something else first?
No. I actually did a couple of other things first. I kept my love of horses, but I also loved the theatre. And so I actually went to NIDA, National Institute of Dramatic Art, and did their production course and graduated from there and was working in theatre for a while, combining the two because I could do horses through the day and theatre at night. And then I became a teacher because I was really enjoying the teaching. So I did primary teaching. And then I decided that teaching in schools wasn't as much fun as teaching riding. So one day the penny clicked and I went, I love teaching, I love horses, I teach riding. So I've been doing that for about the last 40-odd years.
Okay, yep. And you're not the only teacher that I know that's progressed on then to teaching or has always had that interest. I think it's a natural thing, isn't it, to be teaching riding and teaching something that you love doing. Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, now for people, think about, because you have a lot of kids, you teach a lot of beginners, but you have a lot of other riders. If a parent came to you and said, we're about to leave school, my child wants to work with horses, what core skills do you think that they need or that you need to work in the horse industry?
The main core skill is that you're prepared to work hard. That's really it, I think. And I actually have 3 pupils at the moment that intend to come and work for me, and I'm not sure that they'll actually quite make it because, love of horse is important, but the ability to work really hard is very important because horses take up so much time. They become your whole life. And if they're not your whole life and you want to do other things, then don't do horses.
Yes, because it is a lifestyle.
Yeah,
Yep.
definitely.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
Okay. And what do you think, because, you've gone on, you've done a few other things, so you've had a few other career options. It's not like you've had horses and that's it. What do you think brought you over? Was it the love of the horses, love of the job that made you come back to the horses?
Yes, it was actually. It's something I never really left because I always sort of had horses in the background even when I was going to NIDA and going through my teacher's college, which was college at the time. Yeah, and the horses were always around. I'd either go and groom for someone, or I used to go to the Sydney Royal each year and groom for the Hunter Valley tent pegging team, for example. And so, sort of things like that were just fun to do, but always, and every university vacation, I was with horses. So, it was something that, it was a hobby to a certain extent at first, and then obviously became a profession.
Yep. Now, then you've started off with vaulting. How did you start with vaulting?
I started with vaulting by the very fact that my daughters saw an article from, I think it was a British magazine, and went, gee, that looked like fun, Mum. And so, of course, I immediately went, oh, well, there's a vaulting group just down the road. It had just started up. It was Sydney Vaulting Club. So we went down, and I just said they had to go, and I said, well, it was good fun. And they went, no, we're coming back next week. And, so that's how I got started. And I've sort of progressed to lunging the horses for the coach. And, I mean, look, the coaching when vaulting started was incredibly basic because no one really had vaulted in Australia. So we sort of sat there with the rule book and went, I think that's how it looks. And then we all discovered the Hartogs up in Queensland.
Yep.
And Bert had done some vaulting in Holland, and Nick, his son, was a very keen vaulter. So we used to frequently go to Queensland to learn from them.
Okay.
And that's really sort of how we started. And then we managed to get various people came out who, we had a French judge, we had a couple of vaulters that had, won at World Championships, that sort of thing. Christoph Lending, people like that, they came out and did clinics, and that was the way we all learnt.
Okay.
Now, fortunately, we do have some vaulters who have stayed, and they're teaching the new generation of vaulters, which is much better than people standing there with a book.
Yeah, with the rule book, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I always think that if you've done it yourself, you know the feeling. I've ridden, so I know all the feeling of all the movements. I haven't vaulted, so, I can never be a really good vaulting coach because I think you need to have vaulted to have done that.
Okay, to understand it a little bit more.
To understand it, yeah.
Okay, because it's really a mix between horses and gymnast, isn't it? It's not just riding.
Yeah, very much so.
It's a bit of a combination of the two. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, you talked about Bert Hartog, and who else has been instrumental in influencing you about vaulting?
Well, certainly Bert and Marion and Nick. As Nick got older, he went overseas and he came back and he did a lot of coaching.
Okay.
He was just wonderful. He unfortunately now went back overseas, but he was a very good coach. And really, I think, was the main one who motivated me and sort of kept me going and that sort of thing, because I was quite happy to stop.
Okay.
But also my girls too, they sort of kept on saying, come on, we've got to do it. We really enjoy it. And look, every single child that came to Hawkesbury Vaulting Club, I think they all got something really important out of it.
Yep. Good. Now, has there been a particular standout horse, not necessarily just in vaulting, but in your horse career? Have you had a standout horse that you think that's really influenced you? Yep.
Yeah, definitely. His name was Northern Tyson.
Okay.
He was lent to my daughter Cassie by Jennifer Beachy, who lives in Mudgee.
Yep.
And he came to live down here with us. He'd done FEI dressage, and he was a wonderful, wonderful schoolmaster. He had a colic operation, and after the colic operation, he was not quite fit enough to do the FEI work anymore.
Who
he
rode
became
him?
A vaulting horse.
Who rode him as an FEI?
Cassie did. Yeah, no, Cassie did as an FEI horse.
Okay.
Jenny did first. She took him right up the levels, and then she gave him to Cassie as schoolmaster.
Yeah.
But he also then turned out to be a wonderful vaulting horse. And he's probably the only horse in Australia who's done a CVI.
Wow.
for both vaulting and dressage.
Okay.
So, yes.
Okay.
But he was an amazing horse, just the most beautiful, beautiful temperament.
Okay.
He was the one leaning over my shoulder on my Facebook
Okay.
profile.
Okay. All right. Now, what's been your proudest moment?
Look, really, really simple things. The club's won awards and stuff like that. But simple things like one of my pupils had huge trouble getting up to the sand. And in the competition, I just said to her, look, don't worry about it. Sort of, just if you take your hands off, you do. If you don't take your hands off the handles of the vaulting roller, then you don't. And she stood, and she was so happy and so proud of herself. And, yeah, it's little things like that. That just sort of gives me goosebumps. The ribbons and the trophies and stuff like that really don't impress me. But what the children achieve in their own personal development and what they can achieve in their confidence, yeah, that's what I love.
I think as a coach, you're really sharing your achievements with your students, aren't you? Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I hope that I can help them achieve what they have done. That's the main thing. Yeah. All
right. Now, Pip, thinking about your vaulting and, coaching, and I appreciate that you can say, look, I haven't vaulted, so, I'm not as good as I'd like to be, but you would see problems, just riding problems, vaulting problems, whether students can't stand or something. Tell me about a common problem and also what you do to fix it.
Well, look, I'll relate it to riding because it's probably the easiest thing because it happens exactly the same in vaulting. I've actually hurt my back many years ago, and so I'm very, very aware of how people sit on horses and how they influence the horse correctly with their body. So I'm really keen for them to become an athlete themselves, not just let the horse become an athlete, but for them to become an athlete too. So I really encourage them to go to yoga, Pilates, anything that's going to make them stronger to help the horse. That's the thing. We want to be athletes ourselves and we want the horse to be one. So, we can't just flubber around on it and hope that, the horse is going to do what we want if we're not physically prepared as well.
Okay. So that's to help them develop their core, is that right? To then be able to sit better?
Yes, core, hip flexors. It's amazing the amount of people that sit in what's called a chair seat in their saddle, where their legs are forward. They can't get their legs back under them because, the hip flexors are too tight.
Yeah.
Just sort of stuff like that, I'm really into. I sort of always have been, but particularly after hurting my back, I was sort of far more aware of it. And so I sort of really do encourage my pupils to sort of become as athletic as they can themselves. Some people obviously more than others, and that way you can do sitting trot correctly, you can canter correctly, you can keep body parts still that need to be kept still, you can move body parts that need to move. Yeah, so I think that's a really basic thing is that when I start teaching, I try and get everybody to work within their limits, but to sort of really work their own bodies as well as their horses.
Oh, hang on a sec. Let me interrupt to let people know about the horse industry qualifications at onlinehorsecollege.com. If you have a look at the flexible options, there's online theory with practical components that can be completed by video or with a qualified expert in your area. That website again is onlinehorsecollege.com. Thanks. Now, have you got a book that you'd recommend? Is there, I'm sort of thinking of a vaulting book, but just a general horse book, and it's more as a compliment to people, with their riding.
Right. Yes, yeah. In that case, Miguel Trevora's new book, the one he's just brought out, it's just come out in an English version. That is excellent. I think even Tom Roberts, all the Tom Roberts books, they were wonderful.
Yep.
Franz Maringa's book. Look, they've all inspired me, and you hope they're going to inspire other people.
Yeah.
I mean, even Sally Swift-centered riding.
Yep.
Yeah, look, anything like that. And there's a lot now. There is a lot on the computer, on Facebook, on YouTube, whatever. And it's hard sometimes to separate the good bits and the bad bits. So I think sometimes a book actually can focus you a little bit more.
Okay.
Than watching videos or YouTube videos of people doing things incorrectly.
Yeah.
Just know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right then. Now, you go to a few competitions. Is there a mistake that you see people making in competitions that you think if they only knew this, we'd be able to fix it?
Yeah, look, because I judge as well.
Yeah. Because as a
yes,
judge
I
then
do.
you'd see as a judge, wow, if only they could have changed this, I could have given them a higher score. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. A lot of the times it's, as I say, body mechanics, not being able to sort of move with the horse.
Mm-hmm.
Accuracy is another one.
Okay.
You know, sort of horses love routine. And so, you know, sort of riding a correct 20-metre circle is important, not only for your horse's benefit, your mental benefit as well, but, yeah, that's routine. If they always ride it correctly, always going to do it correctly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually just down at my arena at the moment, and I have tiles that delineate the corner and the circle.
Yep.
And all of my pupils, even my beginners, ride into their corners.
Uh-huh.
And,
yes.
just the use of corners.
Okay.
Even sort of simple things like that.
What are you looking forward to then, Pip? What's your future hold?
Well, look, we go to competitions nearly every weekend, or pony club or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I actually lease my horses, like they're on farm lease, to pupils that would not be able to afford or have a horse otherwise. So they take them out to pony clubs, to dressage days, which is fantastic. We love doing that. I think it's great for kids that just wouldn't have an opportunity because they don't have land or whatever to be able to sort of take a pony and take it to pony club, and the parents know they're going to be safe.
Yes.
So I do a lot of that, and I've got adults that also lease my big dressage horses. And, yeah, same thing. They can go to a competition and know they're going to be safe.
Good.
They might necessarily win the competition, but, you know, they're safe and they're having their first go at it or whatever. It's really fun, that, and I really enjoy it. And again, not for the ribbons, but for the fact that, you know, sort of, hey, I really nailed that length and stride trot this time, or, you know, sort of our counter transitions were fantastic. Yeah, so that's what I enjoy.
Yep.
Just, again, those little things that I think when people achieve them, it's so nice to see.
Yeah. Pip, just thinking about, you know, what we've talked about today, how can you sum up your philosophy into a lesson? You know, just something that people have got to take away with them, to listen.
The most important thing is that you're safe.
Yes.
When you're on a horse. Horses are big things that can really, really hurt you. So you're safe. And the next and most important thing is that you enjoy it. You have fun. I see so many people riding and the looks on their faces, and I think, no, smile. You're enjoying this, you're having fun, I hope. You know, it's really important to enjoy it.
Yep.
Because I can't ride anymore, that's one of my philosophies, to tell people to enjoy every ride they get.
Yes.
You never quite know when it's going to be your last one. Yeah, and just the simple enjoyment of riding is just wonderful. That's what you've got to do, enjoy it.
Yep.
Smile, laugh, pat your horse.
Yep.
You know, anything. Even if they go wrong, it's still a learning curve. You know, you're learning all the time.
Now, Pip, how can people contact you?
We have a Facebook page, Tonkin Equestrian.
Yes.
They can contact me through that, or, they private message me on Facebook as well.
Yep.
So,
All right. And also, too, we'll have your details on horsechats.com/Pip Tonkin. Okay, so that's horsechats.com/Pip Tonkin. Yep. All right, Pip, been great talking to you today. Thanks very much for all your insights, and thanks for the extra information about the vaulting. So, you know, particularly, if people are thinking about doing vaulting, you know, getting started, and, you know, I think they can sort of refer back to this interview and just go, right, well, you know, if we have to go back and look at the rule book and see how we get started.
Yep. No, look, it's a wonderful sport, and it's growing all the time. I love vaulting. I adore it. So,
All right, thanks a lot then. Bye.
It's quite all right.
If you've enjoyed this chat, then please comment, rate and subscribe. If you'd like any changes or recommendations for guests, then please contact us through horsechats.com. And while you're online, have a look at the government-accredited courses at internationalhorsecollege.com. Registered Training Organisation 31352.
Remember that our comments and instructions are general in nature and do not take into consideration your individual horses or your individual ability and circumstances. If you enjoyed this podcast, then please leave your comment below.